Morning everybody. So today is all about sheep and goats. If you go to Google and type in sheep or goat, you'll find a nice little quiz. And you have to look at pictures of sheep and goats and say which is quite hard. There's a couple of clues to help you. And one is that sheep's tails always go down, whereas goats' tails always go up. And apparently it's the sheep that go meh and the goats that go bah. So maybe if you know these two things, you're on your way to heaven. Why would I say such a thing? Ridiculous. Well, because in today's reading, Jesus tells us that when the Son of Man comes in all his glory, he's going to separate us all into sheep and goats. And the sheep will be on his right hand, which is good, and the goats on his left, which is bad. So how can we make sure that we're on the right side? Well, Jesus gives us a test. He says a series of tests. He says, have you fed the hungry? Have you given a drink to the thirsty? Have you visited people in prison? Have you visited the sick? Have you looked after the stranger? Have you clothed the naked? It's a very daunting list, isn't it? How are we going to get into the right queue? I'm thinking about the right queue. I was thinking of a more modern example because sheep and goats were all over the place when Jesus was speaking to his audience, but not so much now. We don't see them so much. I was thinking of examples today when you get separated into one queue or another. And the best one I could think of, and I'll explain why in a minute, was when you go on holiday and you go to the airport and you get into that security queue and you go through that big door and then somebody sees you and says, "This way, madam, this way, sir," and you go into your queue and you hope that you're on the one that goes quickly and not the one that takes for ages. And then you start to worry. And you worry, oh, my water bottle, have I emptied it? What about my deodorant? 50 ml, 100 ml? Is it too big, too small? What's the limit? I don't even know. What about my toothpaste? Maybe that's too big a tube. Hand sanitizer, surely that's okay, it's tiny. Anyway, we worry away and we just hope that when we get to the front that our bag won't be one of those ones that gets shunted off into the goat lane, the naughty lane, and you get held up. So if your own record, like mine, is not very good about doing all those things that Jesus asked us to do, and you're worrying in life about whether you're doing the right thing, then I think we don't have to set ourselves such high standards, but think more about the people that we meet every day in the school context. Perhaps the boy or girl who's on the edge of the playground not playing with anybody. Go and talk to them. Maybe the person who was at the back of the queue, and when they got to the front, all the nice bits were gone. No more donuts. Maybe granny or grandpa. Are they at home, alone, no one to talk to? Give them a call or WhatsApp them. Get in touch. It's helpful if you've got a role model. And I've got a very good one. My mother-in-law Jill was excellent at always knowing who in the family had problems and would be in touch with practical help and advice. Or a neighbour, she would be around knocking on the door if she felt that that neighbour was in trouble. So I think if we look up to those role models, and I think if we spend more time thinking about other people's needs and how we can help them, and less time thinking about our own needs, then I think we'll be well on the way to being the kind of sheep that Jesus wants us to be. And remember, tails down and meh. Thank you.